'cause all that they serve you are opinionated views. So don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in war. All the reasons why they're for. Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. Make poverty history, they say, bold in the saints. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe the justice system will give you what you deserve. It's all round backbench judges and Lucifer they serve.
Do you think your thoughts are your own thoughts?
Yeah. Influence, but
I like to think my own thoughts, but then when people do give me their opinion, my thoughts can sway a bit. They can't change my opinion on something. If I have an idea, then let's say if I say it, somebody can tell me their opinion on a situation, and I'll think, alright, okay, so my opinion does. So I'm quite open-minded on stuff, like situations and that.
So would you say you're both quite open-minded people?
I would say so, yeah. I'm quite happy if you're both down with through it.
Okay, because I might be testing that a little bit later.
Okay.
Do you think it's fair to say that all thoughts are conditions?
all thoughts are conditions.
Yeah.
Conditions in what way?
It's influenced by something, some exterior influence.
What kind of influence?
Well, even me talking to you now, or your media, or newspapers, radio, advertising, posters.
You lock someone in a room and give them no contact with the outside world, they can have thoughts. So no, I'd say not always.
So I suppose that's why I was asking, do you think your thoughts are your own? Or have they been totally manipulated and implanted where they're not actually yours anymore?
It's hard to tell in the sort of world we live in, because there's that much advertisement, there's not just like through social media and the news and advertisement. As you can see, you don't really know if you're actually genuinely having your own thoughts or it's the way the media is implementing those ideas in your head. So it's hard to sort of tell, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty honest, yeah. Do you think there's any such thing as original thought?
I don't know, actually, to be honest. It's hard to sort of say, isn't it?
Well, there has to be, like, if everything stands from something, there must have been an original thought, at least at some point in time. So then, saying there was never original thought is kind of absurd, really, right? So there must have been an original thought at some point, which means there can also be other original thoughts. So then, yeah, I'd say there are original thoughts.
You think there still are original thoughts?
It's a lot harder, I would say, than what it used to be. Like, in the way that we get bombarded by everything around us. But I'd say it is definitely still possible. In a constantly evolving world, you can definitely have some original thought from some new experience that can occur.
Do you think what you're being told about the world is true? Do you think you know actually what's going on?
The sheer amount of information and opinions to take in, you never really have a full picture of anything, and that's kind of the problem we face with a lot of things, I think.
So do you think your government and the media are telling you what's actually going on in the world?
No, they're just giving their own one-sided opinion on their political views so they can get their votes, their sort of influence powered by them. It's proven this week, like with the fact that you got Theresa May, who tried to hold a snap election to try and gain more seats in the government. And obviously that completely backfired on her. Now she's struggling and doing deals with DUP, and it took her about 2 weeks to try and scratch some sort of deal out with them. to sort of do a deal with them, and then they're going back changing all their policies and all that just to sort of get them on board and giving them £2 billion. So maybe not. I think they're trying to manipulate the way they're trying to do it to make them look good in their sort of sense by doing all these sort of things, when all they're really doing is doing it for political gain. I think that's really proven in America as well. And Donald Trump and all his fake news, like, I can't even pick one story because there's so many stories with Donald Trump. Like his constant bombardment of saying, "Oh, that's fake news," or "Oh, I've got it." He's just basically trying to shout words at people on Twitter and grabbing the minority of people to try and believe him. Just sort of like, just basically, that's such a thick person that he just uses certain key words and people will buy into it. To Donald Trump.
Fake news seems to be such a big issue at the moment, doesn't it?
It seems to be. The thing is, it's always been about though. Like, you know yourself, you've been scrolling on, for the last 10 years, with the internet. You go on Facebook, you see all these fake news stuffs on the side of it. It's only really been brought to attention because of a high-profile person who is a bull artist, as you can say, who basically.
Well, claiming everything is fake news is basically claiming that journalistic integrity is entirely gone.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, we're all a bit screwed when you think about it, traditional media.
Exactly, because I don't think there's such a thing as traditional media anymore. So you don't know what to believe. That's the thing.
You know, traditional media like newspapers and television, new media being more internet-based. So.
Do you think fake news exists in the mainstream media?
I think mainstream media buys into showing it too often, and I think
it's the difference between fake news is very like a loaded word, because if something is fake, that means it's not true in any regard. But it does get attributed to things where things might be misconstrued, but that is also labelled as fake news. Like that, I don't think that's fair on saying that something that is completely misconstrued, and saying that is wrong, and you shouldn't be misconstruing things in a way to misguide people, but that shouldn't really be labelled as fake news. It should be labelled appropriately and shown as being misconstrued, and they should be taken up on that, not the point of just shouting fake news. You should be held more accountable to it than just saying that.
So do you trust the mainstream media?
Certain channels and certain things, I believe.
You need to take in their biases into play. And you got to think that the BBC, even the BBC is stated to be unbiased, but you still got to agree that they hold certain things in their view. Being British as well, or being a UK-based company, gives them a view that you take into account when you're thinking about anything that they publish or do. So like you would take something the BBC says with a certain view and something that like RT or Al Jazeera says and a different view. You've got to kind of take it into perspective.
It's like here we have different sort of media broadcasting standards compared to like America, for example. Ours aren't as obvious as you can see as in America. Like for example, Fox News, like they'll pretty much
you do definitely.
They obviously are heavily Republican influenced, so they'll show a lot more. And anything that Trump says like bad, let's say the CNN or MSNBC, and all those ones, the sort of liberal channels, as you would say. But Fox News is definitely one, as you can show, that is just highly Republican. It seems to just try and boost Donald Trump, and they're another channel that probably influenced fake media in a sense by taking the stuff he was saying without using research. For example, you're on about journalistic integrity, then it all comes down to simple research at the end of the day. And these people are not doing simple research; they're just looking for big headline stories. Boom, wow, here we go. Let's put this on the TV screens and sell it.
And that's because in American media it is all about viewership and making the money, because it is a capitalistic country and they want that. They need the money to survive, so they're money orientated. But with the BBC being state run, they have a different kind of system to them. I think like the Fox would have a bias towards wanting to have sensationalised stories, and the BBC might have a different bias. And I think that they have become too commercialised.
Don't you think the BBC might have a bias towards the government because it's state funded?
Yes, definitely. It is state funded media, so it does have, like, you wouldn't want, and just a straight up bias, you wouldn't want anarchist views to be shown on the BBC that are wanting to take down the government entirely, because they are for the government, and that goes against what they would want.
You know how propaganda works, like, it's all happening in East Germany, North Korea, Russia. Don't you think it could be happening here then, because we're buying into our propaganda?
Yeah, they could be painting us a bad picture of that country.
Oh, yeah.
Like it could be
entirely
and we're being susceptible to just the same extreme propaganda, but it's more subtle.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, like, we have so many different things we can take our news from. Like, I don't take all my news from the BBC. I take it from many different sources, and the fact that we have the internet and being able to view, like, you can go look at RT, the Russian state news in Russia, and then Al Jazeera for Al Jazeera, and they're both state-run media from then, and they'll paint you a different picture as well. And then you do have more, and you can't just get straight to the source, like you do get, like, what do you call it, institutions that publish their own news stories on their own website. Like the UN would publish stories or documentation, and you can look up the documentation for yourself. So if you really want, you can go out there and get straight to the facts. It might be harder, but yeah, there is definitely, if you only take your news from one place, you can be now.
Also, there's a more raw element of news as well, because it's so, like, for YouTube and uploading people can get a raw, like terror attacks, for example, and stuff, and it, like that recently in recent times you see a lot
more organic.
Yeah, you're seeing like raw footage as it happens now, so then you're getting to, like, you go back to the original thought there again, you're getting your own original opinion on it. You're seeing footage that hasn't been spoken by some newscaster, that's been edited in a room or anything like that. You're seeing raw footage there, and then that's going back to your original opinion. You're getting your opinion from that.
So do you guys research alternative news and alternative media from what you've been told on the mainstream news?
I don't so much research, but I do swap around other sort of main newspapers, like especially online and TV channels. Like if I see something on Facebook, like a terror attack or something like that, what I'll do is I will go to the BBC to see if it's true and look from there, because I see that as more of a reliable source. Personally, anyway, I feel that it's not going to be glossed over. Like
nowadays, then you get the footage of a bombing and that on YouTube or on other channels.
Do you remember when Britain and America invaded Libya, and the troops went in, and the BBC showed you footage of crowds celebrating that the troops are coming in, but they actually lied, because that wasn't Libya, that was actually a celebration in Pakistan. So they completely lied about that. So do you think the BBC is trustworthy to...
Not entirely, not to an extent, no. I don't think they're totally to an extent. But I also think they're quite easily led on by not like coming back to getting research. They're not looking at where they're getting their information from. Like for example, actually, I saw a good one. It was when the London terror attacks were on, where the guys were going out with knifing people a couple of weeks back. They had raw footage of a guy in the, because I seen it on Twitter before it went live on TV, and there was a guy in the background who was like, I don't want to go into too much explicit terms, but he was basically being racist and saying this, that to Muslims and stuff like that. But then the BBC obviously hadn't looked over it, and it was the same raw footage on Twitter as I seen on TV, and it was swearing and cursing that, and they clearly didn't even bother looking to see what the information was. They're just fortunate this was about the back of 1 o'clock in the morning here, our time anyway. But that was on BBC World News, so that would have been broadcasted in several countries with swearing and very bad language towards a certain religious group that people think that might have been towards, and that proves that no one just tends to look to see where the information is coming from.
And did you see anybody being killed?
No, not not that time, not for this one, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's not hard to find this sort of stuff on the media when these attacks happen. Like, you can go on Twitter and they're there, and it's not, and then Facebook as well, and then fair enough, they always try to say they'll take these things down, but for a matter of with the first sort of hour or two on, you can go on that and you can see all these sort of stuff like that, and it's hard not to sort of look to see these sort of things because they're all over the media and all that, and like
I've never seen anybody killed in these
I've not seen anyone being killed before. No, not on Twitter or Facebook, unless you go.
Did you remember the soldier Rigsby who got?
Oh yeah,
got his head
got ran over and decapitated. Yeah,
but there was no blood in the ground.
I didn't see that one, but I definitely seen the guy with the knife with the cleaver in his hand afterwards. I never seen that one. But
I mean, we're told that happened there, but if you cut major arteries in the neck, there's going to be blood everywhere. There was no blood at all, and there was no picture of a severed head either.
I never seen any of that. I just seen the aftermath at the time of the guy who was shouting down his views down people's phone cameras and all that.
But then we never see anybody dying, do we?
No, it's true enough. I did see videos on Twitter of the aftermath of the Nice one when the guy rammed the van down that's beach esplanade.
I don't know if you've been there, but I've been there many times, and it's miles long.
Yeah.
Thousands of people there. Now you can imagine how many people would have mobile phones to take a picture of that.
Yeah.
But no evidence of anybody being killed.
No, well, in
So,
that one, I
you
don't know. I seen quite harrowing images of that one. I'm going to be honest. At the time,
Did you see anybody being run over?
I didn't see anyone. I saw the van going.
Yeah, so did I. But did we see any bodies being rammed?
No, that's the thing. But then you don't know if, like, well, they go. I don't know how true it is, but you do see sites like Facebook and Twitter saying, "Oh yeah, we'll take these images down quick enough." But then there is certain ones like. There is certain sites where, especially ISIS and beheadings and all that, they can float quite freely on YouTube. I've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen the beheading ones. Yeah, but the actual terrorist attacks, I've never seen anybody actually being killed. I've
only ever seen the aftermath pictures of them. I don't think people tend to have their phones out. I know we're a culture. You can see them out now. Everyone's on their phones and got them out taking photos.
We could see that in a Hollywood film, though, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Getting back to the BBC, do you remember 9/11?
Yeah.
Do you know there's a third building that fell?
Yeah, I've heard conspiracy stories and rumours about this one.
Well, this is not a conspiracy. You can actually see BBC reporting live the third building falling half an hour before it actually fell.
Oh, yeah. Is that female interviewer as well who reports it and
Jane Stanley.
And it weirdly cuts off halfway through the interview.
Shut that down, quick. But that's the BBC. So I'm asking, how can we trust them to be...
I don't know. I think the way I don't know, I always try to take stories a bit of a pinch of salt. I don't quite, especially nowadays, I don't quite buy into the whole story what they're saying, but I will take it with a pinch of salt. But I think when I say reliability, when I say BBC, is because they're an institution that has been around for a long enough time, and I think you sort of think that, oh well, I'd rather believe them because, well, Sky News, okay, it's been about for about 25, maybe 30 years.
But in all due respect, the Americans would be saying the same about Sky News about us.
Yeah, exactly.
We believe the propaganda about another country. Do you remember I said earlier about to see how open you are? But I'm going to ask you now, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Oh, I think it's a sphere.
Yeah. Well, it's not a complete sphere.
Well, okay, if you want to...
It is kind of floating in the middle.
Yeah,
it's not a perfect.
I believe it's round. I don't believe it's flat. I'm quite far believing that it's round. I don't believe that it's flat in any way at all.
Okay, can you pay attention to the words you're using there now? You're saying belief. Now, how do you know it's sphere shape?
Well, I mean,
when you get a ship and you look at a ship on the horizon, you see a ship's bottom when it goes over the horizon, and then if you take you take the shadow of the moon and you take it on the sun, you can work out geometrically the shape of the Earth. Actually, that's a bit popping out my ass there, but yeah.
Are you talking about the eclipse?
Yeah.
Okay, now I've done this myself, and you can see hundreds of people doing this on YouTube. You think a ship's going over the horizon, right? You think it's going over the curve. Now, if you take a zoom camera or a telescope, you'll see that bottom of the ship again. Bring it fully back into view.
Okay.
Proving that it's not going over the curvature at that precise instant. And also, whatever shadows go on the moon, there's still not conclusive proof that it's
you know, when a rocket ship, you know how it can enter orbit around Earth? Like a rocket ship, that fire doesn't go straight up, it goes rotationally, so it can defeat the Earth's gravitational pull and fall around the Earth, which means that it would be a sphere.
Well, that's what we're told, yes. Have you any evidence of that?
It's hard for personal evidence. You have to sort of like go to other sources.
I've seen a jet engine, and I know the force that exits from a jet engine.
Do you know there's no footage of any rocket in space?
Yes, there is. There's shuttles.
It's all CGI. That's obvious CGI.
Hold on. Is this you disputing mathematics?
No, I don't dispute mathematics.
So physics is a branch of mathematics, right?
Yes, it is.
And engineering is a branch of physics.
Yes, yeah.
And if we can engineer jet engines, even jet engines.
Yes. Absolutely,
Yeah. So if you can, the Earth's gravitational pull.
No, I don't know it. Do you have evidence of it?
I have mathematical proof. Is that enough proof for you?
Okay. Is mathematical equations on a piece of paper proof of anything in reality?
Now that is a metaphysics argument, and you can ask a philosopher. But as far yes, you have.
Okay. Say I don't know absolutely anything. I come to you and say, okay, I want to believe in gravity, but I don't see it. I don't feel it. How do I know it exists?
So a simple thing.
How can you prove to me?
You take the scientific method.
Yes.
And then
for that,
you take the scientific method. And then you evaluate an experiment, which does follow the induction fallacy, but it is proven to work.
So how do you prove it then?
Right, you take the scientific method, you then do your experiment, like, right, there's two ways.
What experiment are we doing to establish gravity exists?
Okay, we gotta know, like, where do you want to start? Like, the beginning of mathematics and then work forward? And then, because all of mathematics is based on axioms, and then you build up, and then from physics you also build up mathematics.
Observational truths, now science should be demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable.
Well, that's one branch of science. Mathematics is a different form of axiom-based proof that is unfallible.
Mathematical axioms and language
it's a human construct.
Yeah, but it doesn't prove that something exists. It can only explain something. It's a language.
Well, do numbers exist?
Numbers?
Yeah, numbers.
Yes, numbers exist.
How do you know numbers exist?
Well, it's my interpretation of a shape on a piece of paper.
No, that's not a number.
What do you mean by a number?
Numbers can, like, you know, representations is a representation. You know the concept of a number.
Yes, but are we getting away from the actual proving that gravity actually? I'm just asking for.
No. You got to start somewhere, right? This is the thing. You start with your axioms and then you go forward.
Yeah, but you're starting with your axioms, but I'm starting with observational truths. I want to see some evidence of gravity.
Well, I would go for the simple one. I would go back to it. Isaac Newton with the apple dropped on the ground. That proves that.
No. I don't know.
But how does that prove the apple dropped due to gravity? What about density? Could the molecules of that apple be heavier than the air, so it falls due to density? Rather than can you prove to me it was gravity and not density?
See, this is the problem. Like, science is based on building up truth and observation. See, isn't it? Science isn't infallible. It is the best estimation of this. This is why you'll never find a scientist outrightly say, like, it is a hypothesis, it is a theorem. A theorem means it is provable and it is there, but it's still the best estimation. You look at classical physics and then new quantum physics. It is building up. There is never, like, you can say that gravity is just the closest interpretation we have of what is actually happening. There should be another level.
Is it though? I mean, what's the evidence for that is the closest representation? What's the evidence of gravity is that?
It is the physics and the thousands of documentation that is built on past work forward and the achievements built with it.
Are you doing science at uni?
Computer science, not entirely physics.
Okay, I'm getting that you've got almost an emotional involvement in this, that you wholeheartedly believe that science is telling you the truth.
See, it's not telling us the truth. It is, like, this could be, it is only interpretation. There is no true truth in the world. Like, this is a build-up of information over time and the involvement of humanity. And the thing is, this bench was made using scientific principles.
Yeah, but don't you think there's a certain thing as objective truths?
What do you mean objective truths?
Well, it's undeniable truth.
Hell, we haven't even proved that we exist. Philosophy, like,
okay, there's three entities here sitting talking. Is there not? Is that a self-evident truth?
It depends what philosopher you ask. Like, come on.
No, I'm asking you, as your self-awareness and natural observations.
Just give your opinion.
Rather than opinion, is there three entities sitting here having a?
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's a truth, isn't it? Objective truth.
Yes.
Right. So we can establish that from the base. But I'm just asking you because for all my life I believe, like you, that gravity exists. But there is no evidence for gravity, and that's why it's called.
No, hold on. You can't say there's no evidence.
Let me finish. That's why it's called the theory of gravity.
Oh no. Theory. Sorry.
Some evidence then.
Sorry. I can't produce evidence.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I need a phone. I need. No, that isn't what a theory is. You know what a theory is, right? Come on. Yeah, it's a build up of evidence over time.
There's two theories. You can have a build up of evidence which you think is going to produce something and going to work. There's also
it is a hypothesis, right? And then it moves to a
there's also a theoretical idea as well.
Oh yeah. Well, you know about the scientific definition of a theorem or the English definition of a theorem?
Well, there's both definitions.
Yeah. And gravity is a theorem in the scientific sense.
Yeah. But I'm just putting to you that I don't mean to be confrontational, but I'm just putting to you because I'm all for evidence and finding the truth of something. Now, I feel I've been lied to all my life about gravity and us living on a spinning ball. But there's no evidence for that.
Well, it depends how you seek out the evidence. have you taken it back and worked from Newton's paper and then tried to replicate his experiment and then built forward?
But Newton observed an apple from a tree.
No, Newton never did. That is an anecdote given by another author in a book. And Newton never witnessed an apple fall.
But that's no proof that gravity dropped the apple.
No. That was an anecdote.
If I could say, if it was gravity, why are all the other apples not dropping at the same time?
Yeah.
Why are they not being pulled down at the same time? Just one drops.
Well, because it's a reaction for them. They're held there by the tree until the force of gravity is overcome. Or not even the force, because it's not force, it's weight.
Or the apple's molecules have grown so big it's too heavy for the little twig to hold.
See, you do have to take it on. I'm not going to say faith, but if you witness the feats of science, then you have an inherent, what do you call it, belief. Or not even belief, just observation of, like you see the scaffolding, and you see scaffolding over there.
The scaffolding,
yeah. And the engineering principle behind heat. We have to understand the temperatures and the temperature that metal melts at and the structure of the metals. We understand that to be able to use it. Even if we don't understand it perfectly, we understand it enough to form objects out of it.
Okay, right, you're talking about
and then
physics and so forth. You've got a physics of a ball, right? Now, the physics of a ball slopes in all directions equally, does it not?
You're on about a geometric shape, not a physical ball. Okay.
Well, let's just say we're standing on a ball. It's going to slope off in every direction at the same grade, isn't it?
Sorry.
Every direction is going to be sloping at the same slope.
From a point, you're saying that the Uranian. Oh, right, the line of a curve to line. Yeah.
Now, people who claim to see a shape going over the horizon, they can say they can see the curve, right? Now, the physics of a ball, scientifically speaking, and observational truths. I should see that curve to my left, to my right, and behind me, sure or not.
Hold on, you mean a horizon? You can see a horizon all the way around.
If I'm in the middle of the ocean and the ships all around me, I should see ships going over the curvature to my left, behind me, straight ahead, and to my left, sure or not.
If you're looking forward?
If I'm on a ball.
If you're on a ball, it's a small change in a distance, right? So you would see the same horizon as you.
But you're telling me we see it one direction, right? We're on a ball.
Yeah.
The physics of the ball all slopes evenly in every direction.
Yeah.
So therefore I should see to my left and my right and behind me exactly the same horizon.
Because it's not a complete. Because it's not a complete. It's a round sort. It's a sphere shape. But it's round. There isn't going to be an end to it. It's going to be a continuous on each side, but it's a complete circular shape.
Also, if you ever flown or been on top of a mountain, the horizon always remains at your eye level. Now, if you were on a ball and you ascended really.
Wait. What horizon? The ocean's horizon? Like, a horizon has to be of a thing.
Where the land or the sea meets the sky.
The land and the sea, yeah.
So whatever height you ascend to, it remains at your eye level. That's an observational fact.
Well, I can see a horizon of grass. Yeah, you see the grass there.
Yeah, but we're talking about the horizon. That's not the horizon, is it? That's quite close to you.
Well, yeah.
We're talking about the furthest point you can see is the horizon where the sky meets the ground or the sea.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're on top of a mountain or you're standing on a beach or on an aeroplane, it will always be at your eye level. Now, if you're on a ball and you ascended really high, that ball will fall below your feet. Proven you don't live in a ball.
So your mind just be exploring.
No, it's not that. It's like you need a bit of paper, or not even a bit of paper. I just need to think about it to answer properly, and I don't want to get lost in my thoughts.
Do you think there's any possibility you could be wrong about where
because science is wrong.
Nothing's ever 100%.
This is the thing. Like, we don't even know about our own existence.
Right. So there's a possibility that
have you ever heard of the principle that we all just live in the Matrix?
Yeah, well,
it's possible.
I think it is actually that.
Yeah,
because we're not living in a magical spinning ball with bendy water on it. Now, where in nature does it exist that the water can exist to the exterior of a shape?
What?
How can the water exist on the exterior of a shape, especially a ball?
Well,
because gravity pulls water down towards the centre, and we are yeah, like weight pulling down. But it's not a perfect sphere because we have nips as well.
Do you know that for certain yourself, or is that a belief?
Well, you go on what's the evidence that's there, isn't it? You go with the evidence that people have researched. And
what do you mean belief?
Could you give me the evidence that water can exist on a ball?
I can give you science. I can give you scientific proof if that's enough.
What's the proof?
What's a proof?
Yeah. Scientific proof that water can exist on a ball.
Water can. What do you mean water can exist on a ball?
On the outside of the balls. Where is the proof that that?
Like exactly. It's all about saying you put water on a sphere shape without gravity. It's going to roll off, isn't it? That's what he's meaning.
That's our observational truth of nature. That's how water behaves. Water will always find its own level. At its lowest point, it will find its own level.
That's why it will roll down hills.
Now we're told that the Earth is made up of over 70% water, flat water. Now, how can 70% of flat surface exist on a ball?
Well, the Earth isn't perfectly a perfect sphere.
How do you know that?
Because it had nips in it. Like that is a nip, right? That means we're not living on a sphere. Like geometric definitions, we don't live on a sphere.
What about mountains as well? Is that not counted?
Yeah, nips and mountains. We don't live on a sphere.
I think we're playing with words here, where I'm asking for evidence that we're actually on a ball, whether there's dips or not on it. We're told we don't.
What do you want? Like, we don't technically live on a sphere.
What, a ball then?
We don't live on a ball because balls. What ball do you wait?
He's on about the shape. He's on about the shape, Andrew.
But you said at the beginning you thought you lived on it on this.
I said I lived on it.
Squashed.
Yeah, and that is the best. Like that is the simple interpretation of what we live.
Okay, then right. I'm just trying to get you to admit that that's just a belief you have rather than any evidence.
Oh right. Okay. Oh no, it's a belief in science.
Yeah. So okay.
It's a belief in science.
But we're using the word belief a lot here because we don't have any actual evidence.
Well, it's. Yeah, it is you have to believe in the initial axioms to work from. Like, you have to believe that 1 + 1 = 2 to then understand, like, multiplication.
Well, I would say you don't have to believe in anything and you should question everything.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, that's what science does then.
But then
we question one...
But the science that you're telling me, it sounds more like a religion. Where you have to believe in something?
No. You don't need to. That's the perfect thing about science. You can, like, physicists today refute what Einstein said, and they go out there and they challenge it. That's critical thinking, and it's beautiful.
Have you heard of Tesla?
Yep.
Nikola Tesla.
Yeah. Well, he was suppressed quite a bit, wasn't he?
Oh, but by a certain American called Thomas Edison, just suppressed him very stole his ideas.
Yeah. Both being Edison being an inventor as well.
I don't think he thought we lived in a sphere either.
I think he was seen as being a bit eccentric from the norm, or the elite of the time of our side.
That man created some beautiful science based on physics that came before him. Like he had the critical thinking is definitely important to everything we do.
I'm there with you.
And I think critical thinking of science is critical to advancing a civilization.
Yeah, I agree. At age of 5, probably when you were told you lived on this ball, was your critical thinking developed enough to question that?
No, I'm entirely saying no.
So you still believe that now? Did you ever really seriously question it between then and now? That where's the evidence that I live in a ball Earth?
I took physics in school. I know what you're getting at. Like, we have to obviously treat everything as suspect. And
we never really questioned it, did we, when we were told that in school?
No, because we are too young. We are too young.
But at that age, you just take I'd say you take what you get told. But at that age, we are teachers and.
But as a child, as a child, you do question things a lot, and you do ask why is it a sphere.
Yeah, but you're told it's gravity, and now be quiet. Don't.
No. What if I asked my mother, why do apples fall to the ground, and they went gravity? Like, she wouldn't say believe it. She'd say I don't know, and then she'd say okay, and you'd have to accept that and look at more information and know my own research. As a 5-year-old, maybe not then, but then I'm always going to have that question that was unanswered. I can take it. Like, if someone said no, it's gravity, I went, well, what's gravity? And then they didn't give me an answer. That's not right.
Yeah, but we couldn't even understand at 5 if they explained gravity to us, could we?
No.
We went and developed it.
No. They
could have said cabbage years ago. Okay then.
I think that's the case. I know what you're coming at, because you could do.
But then you still question it.
At a young age, you could. I don't want to use the word indoctrinate because that's not really what I want to use, but you could start telling the mind that, oh, this is that, and yeah, I know what you mean. You can start off at a young age and get people to believe in these ideas, and it's kind of all part of school, I suppose. The whole education is to start people off young to remember it. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, we're getting taught this idea that the planet is sphere or shape, and
we totally accept it.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah, but we don't have to accept it. That's the beautiful thing about it.
What child doesn't accept it though? Because we're socially conditioned to accept authority, accept our teachers, accept what our parents tell us.
Depends on what your background is. Like, if you've got different. Depending on what your background and your educational getting taught.
We come from Scotland. People are cynical. Like, you don't really like.
Well, I'm trying to show you a cynical side about you being told that you live in a ball, but you'll be very resistant to that idea.
No, I'm very resistant to that idea. But
have you heard of cognitive dissonance?
No, I can't say I have.
Dissonance. Oh, right. You're embedded in a belief so much that you kind of fight for it.
Well, I think you have two different beliefs, but if you believe something all your life, and everybody around you, your community, your government, your media, and along comes somebody like me and says, maybe that's not the truth, and you dismiss straight away without inquiry, that can be classed as cognitive dissonance. Because it's uncomfortable, it sounds stupid, I'll just dismiss it, but I won't inquire about it. Where I can be informed about it, I'll just dismiss it. Because it's not what I've been told all my life.
Yeah.
Do you know there's no real photographs of space, of Earth from space?
Well, you go with what the evidence have shown you. If you go back to it, you can question. When you want to go into it, you can question everything. Yeah, okay, maybe there isn't any photographs of inside space. And I do if you're going down this route, I do question the man.
But like, where do we get satellite GPS from? It's like stuff like that pops into my mind. And we have no pictures of space. Well, we have satellites in space. We know we have satellites.
How do you know there's satellites? But you say you know you have satellites. I don't know that.
I don't know that, but I observe my GPS on my phone working.
How do you know that's from satellites?
Well, we're told.
If you put location on your phone, it pinpoints you.
Absolutely, but how do you know that's coming from a satellite in space?
We are told they come from satellites. And I've seen satellites
go back to the point.
So it's a belief again.
Well, this is the thing. It's a belief, but I'm observing. Well, like a satellite in space. How else do we get maps on our phones?
Do you know there's no video evidence of any satellite in space?
Well, okay, but right. If I open my phone and I want to.
I'm not offending you guys.
No. This is like you saying there's no satellites in space, and I observe using a map on my phone that pinpoints my location.
Me too.
But then I know like that street over there is labelled something, and my phone tells me that street, and I should walk from here and there, and it'll show me on my phone.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But how do you know that's coming from a satellite in space?
See, then this comes from understanding how satellites work, right? And then thinking that, like, how else would it work?
Have you got evidence of satellites in space?
Well, that's the thing.
Well, you can observe things passing in the sky.
You can. If you get a telescope, you do see them sometimes flicking over at night.
Yeah. How can you
know that it's a satellite? Yeah.
How can you prove your signal's coming from that?
Unless you had a telescope or your own evidence.
I do, yes.
Unless you have if you have a telescope, you're able to actually look at the night sky and you're able to get a good footage or photograph that shows you there's evidence that a satellite is.
But you can't get enough detail from it from that distance.
Well, you get a really large telescope, and then you don't know if the telescope is.
Also, photographs, it's just an image that could be doctored.
Oh, it can be photoshopped.
But a video, a Photoshop.
The naked eye can be doctored as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why you wear glasses, because maybe your eyesight's impaired a bit.
Yeah, see, this is
You've got Robert Simmons who works for digital. I forget what sort of company he works for, but anyway. He creates the blue marble shots every year,
and he's the water.
And one of his customers is NASA. So he claims in a radio interview they're all photoshopped, they're not real photographs.
They're all edited, aren't they? Because they extract from information, expand things, and then this is redshifted, then we color them in.
Does that not worry you guys that there's no real footage?
Well, we can know that certain images.
They don't exactly tell you that this is 100% evident. They never actually say. They just show you what they use keywords.
They never do say that these pictures.
They used to from the 60s, but now they say images.
Yeah, images. See, they've changed. Exactly. See, they obviously came.
We know that these images are natural images of space.
Yeah, but if I go back to your friends or family and take your photograph now, and I go back, do I go back to them and say, look, I got some images or some arts impressions of your friends on it? See, I say photographs, don't I?
Yeah.
So why isn't NASA not using the word photographs? Because they have no photographs. They have no video either. Space doesn't exist, satellites don't exist. And
this is the thing, like, a challenge towards you then. A challenge. A challenge, yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is what philosophers have argued for in, I exist, therefore I am, like, stuff like this.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Oh, that's the thing, like, you're not forced to because it's not entirely provable.
Well, I don't think it's true either.
Well, it's not provable, so it's not true.
It's not accurate. Well, I don't know, you can prove it to yourself.
Yeah, it's self-provable when it's fallible and like a sense of what.
Has it not caused a wee bit of doubt in you guys' heads that I'm saying that you've been socially conditioned from 5-year-olds to accept this as a belief?
And
there's no real footage of a round ball from space, and it's preposterous to think that we're living on a spinning, tilting, floating, wobbly ball with bendy water around it.
It does get to question you. I know what you mean. It does get you start to think. You do start to question reality and to question the beliefs that people tell you. I get what you're getting at. Like I said, I'm quite open to hear other people's opinions.
Well, that's why I asked you first how open you are. I don't mean to try to win an argument with you or be personal with you. But this is the biggest thing on the internet right now. Right, it's not just one crazy man in the park.
It's
this is
critical
huge
thinking
movement.
is dying.
And there's lots of academics and well-educated people now believing that they don't live on a spinning ball because there's no freaking evidence for it at all.
Well, there.
I think it's good. It's good that it says that people.
As prove that we don't.
Prove that we don't.
And proving a negative is hard.
Okay, I mean,
and this is the problem.
Yeah, I just pointed out a fallacy about ships going over the horizon. Where you can prove they're not.
Well, I haven't observed that.
No.
Like, this is the thing, like, I haven't observed that, so it's still an objective truth to me.
But
it is picking an opinion at that
do it yourself and do that experiment yourself for self-natural observations rather than believing.
But then if you were to do that, then you're just giving yourself. You believe for yourself.
Just doing observation isn't enough. Because you drop an apple, you can't then say gravity or density.
Yeah, but let's not be carried away. If you're seeing something you're told you can't see, that proves that they're lying to you.
But if you were to prove it to yourself, they go and tell people, "Oh, I've proved this," and you're going to get questioned as well. So it's just you're going to, regardless if you do it for your own personal mind to find out that the world is round, and you prove to it that you find out it is. People are always going to question your evidence or question your argument.
Yeah. But like, if someone came to me with evidence. And then, like, this is the thing, like, everything is defeatable. Like, if you came with me with evidence against something, then I sit there, I evaluate one evidence, I evaluate the other, and then I make a decision. Well, that decision is still mine.
Yeah, I could take you two guys right now to the coast, and we could do that exercise together, where the three of us would agree, that ship's not going over any curvature. So you're just proving that what they're telling you is not true, that ships go over the curvature.
Yeah, but there's so much other things that we take from knowing that the Earth is round and knowing.
But what do we take from we know it's round? I can't see anything that I know is round.
You know when we what do you think's at the centre when we drill down?
They haven't drilled down further than 12 miles. So
but does it get hotter?
I don't know. Which is what I'm told.
Miners.
Volcanoes example. Volcanoes an example.
It's something we do observe.
Like that is showing you there is a hot bed.
But then at that point,
causes the Earth's core to move, which causes earthquakes and all that. That shows you there is some form of heat below the Earth.
And then miners in coal mines that dig deeper, they come out hot. They're hot. Yeah, stuff like that. So if the Earth is flat, how thick is it?
I'm not actually saying it's flat.
When it's not spherical.
I'm challenging what I've been told that it's a round ball.
But these are things that we have seen or observed. Like, I should find a miner and ask them, and that heat goes down in mine, it gets hotter. And we start from there, and then we keep on working. We find, right, it gets hotter.
But we're surmising what's beyond that, aren't we? Because nobody's been down below 12 miles.
Yeah, but if it gets hotter, we observe it getting hotter, right?
We can get cooler another 12 miles down.
Yeah, and that's entirely true. You can actually have like a pocket and it can actually be cooler. Like, these are things that can happen. But we've not been deeper than 12 miles, have we? We've not been deeper than 12 miles, have we? No. Okay. So I ask you, how wide is the Earth?
How wide is the sphere?
How wide?
25,000 miles.
Is that the equator, isn't it? Is that the...
I wish I knew these off by heart.
It also has.
I know how far up satellites are. Well, that's just a number.
We also have we can calculate the curvature by its 8 inches per mile squared.
Yeah, no, that's yes. I remember now. The shadows.
I can
yes.
I can see. I can see things 20 miles away.
Yeah, yeah.
So I should be able to see.
Not Euclid. What unique scholar is the shadows? The two pillars. You can calculate the curvature of the
ground, is it?
Yeah, you can calculate the curvature of the Earth from a basic experiment.
Amazing, yeah. That's before they could even get up in an airplane.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So there is observable things to show that the Earth.
Well, we don't know if that's factual. If you look at the Henry Cavendish experiment, where he claimed...
What experiment?
Henry Cavendish in the 17th century claimed that he measured the gravitational pull. Now he did this in a barn with two balls hung by two wires, and we're supposed to believe that. There was no witnesses. Why is that? Now we're talking about science here. Why is that not demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable today in every university or in front of a live TV audience?
Because it's seen as being, I don't know.
Hold on. In all honesty, I'm going to say I'm ignorant of the what do you call it, of the exact experiment and the conditions it was done under. I don't know if it's reproducible. I don't know.
He walked into his barn and did it, and then claimed that he measured the gravitational pull.
Maybe it's because science.
Wait, hold on.
Because it's seen as being very challenging enough. Maybe that could be an argument.
No. I don't know the experiment, so all I'm doing is being told something here.
Yeah, well, you can go off and research it. And you'll see what I'm saying this on camera. It's going on the internet, so I know what I'm saying is factual. That the Cavendish experiment, he tried to claim that he witnessed the gravitational constant and the one small mass being a bigger mass.
Oh, not a point.
So why is that not repeatable? Why can't we see that experiment done today?
So you're asking someone that doesn't fully understand the experiment. Why is it not repeatable?
Yeah, but any scientific experiment, why is it not being repeated today? That a whole...
in all honesty, the experiment could be wrong. Like that.
Well, I know it is wrong. But if all these experiments, I mean, the whole of science and mathematics is based on, surely we should see some repeatable, demonstrable evidence. And where's the working model of a ball of water going around it?
A ball of water
going around it. Why can't they repeat that?
Oh wow, because it's not a large enough, dense enough ball to have enough gravitational pull. So this is just still
how large would you need the ball to be?
Oh, if I was a physicist, I should do the calculations. So that takes unbelievable.
So how do you know it has to be that big then? You're not a physicist.
Because it's unbelievable.
There it goes. There you go.
The belief in science.
You have to believe in what somebody else tells
you. So it's a belief then, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
No. It's all rolls right to what people told you.
Yes, and don't get me wrong. Okay, you can.
It's not just people. It is more than just what people tell you. You know that.
You could be right about it, guys.
No.
You have to be honest and say that you believe what you've been told.
Well, the thing is, you're saying, objectively observe, right? I observe something. And then that is an objective truth, right? You're holding a camera.
Well, your perception comes into play.
Yeah.
An objective truth.
The camera exists. The camera is in your hand and it exists.
Yes, I think we'd all agree on that.
Yes. You believe in silicon chips.
I wouldn't say it's a belief.
It's not a belief.
Well, no, I don't have a belief, no, but there is evidence, there is certain evidence that you can say, right, I can see that could be a reality, that silicon chips exist.
So you believe, or do you know for true, the doping of silicon chips to make P&N type semiconductors?
Well, I mean, you're getting very technical there, which I don't have any experience of, so I'm accepting what people are telling me.
Yeah, go off Andrew.
Oh yeah, we've been here a while, sorry.
It's not a self-evident truth, but...
It's not a self-evident truth. But you're holding something in your hand which has silicon in it, and it has conductors and silicon chips.
Okay, I'm accepting what you're telling me.
Yeah. And then you're saying... oh man, I lost the train of thought.
That always happens when you get quite passionate.
Yeah. So you've got the silicon chip in the camera, and then you're saying that there's evidence of that existing.
Well,
right?
no, I can understand the theories behind that, and it makes sense. And I can.
But the theories behind that are the theories of electromagnetism. So you must either know that they are true, or what were you saying? There's evidence to prove that they exist, or
But
I don't know the words you were using.
I haven't seen the evidence, but
What you're using something that uses the principles.
Yeah, I've seen something.
Right, like electromagnetism is used to produce silicon conductors, and in your hands you're holding a camera.
I'm seeing something that works, and hearing you explain how it works, which I'm sort of accepting. But I'm not believing wholeheartedly that okay, that's
if you work
fundamentally true.
back from even a camera, you come back to something like electromagnetism or gravity, right? If you work back, like you have the camera and you have the silicon chip, like you can observe silicon with a microscope, and like you see the silicon,
you can.
And you see
Can
the
you
chip.
observe gravity?
Not with the naked eye.
Can you measure it?
What do you mean, gravitational waves, or?
Yeah, can you measure it?
You can. Gravity isn't even a force. Gravity is.
Glad we agree on that.
Yeah, gravity isn't the force. Gravity is the weight is the force. Weight is the gravity and your mass and the.
Can I ask you how do you know that?
Well,
goes back around.
how do we know what?
What you just said to me about gravity and weight. How do you know that's true?
Someone's told you.
Well, the thing is, like, gravity is still disputed. Haven't just found gravitational waves, right? It's ever changing.
So you're accepting what you were told about.
It is accepting the most probable theory.
Yeah, but you're still accepting something without evidence.
Oh no, it has evidence. It has.
Could you show me the evidence?
Of gravity.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I had. Like, I'm trying to think of something like provable properly.
I've been researching this for 3 years, and I'll tell you there is no evidence for gravity.
And we're just supposed to use your argument back to you, then we have to believe what you're saying, though, as well.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Don't believe a word I'm saying. I'd say go off and research it for yourself, and go and see. I'll tell you now, you won't find any evidence for gravity. You won't find any evidence of a video of a rocket in space.
Hold on. If you start believing in...
Let me finish. You won't find any evidence for a satellite in space through a video.
You believe we can make satellites?
You won't find any evidence of water existing to steer of a shape. You won't find any evidence of gravitational waves, or gravitational pulls, or gravity. I'll give you loads of money if you find any evidence for any of those.
What if you take objects that we have and we, like, what is it? Like natural phenomena that are explained using the theory of gravity exist.
Oh, well, see, you were about this way, weren't you? You're using a theory which is a belief.
No. Scientific theory.
It's still a belief.
Provable.
Well, prove it to me.
I'm trying.
I've been sitting here for an hour asking you, showing you some evidence of the proof of gravity.
See,
it should be simple if it's a truth.
I know. I know again. If it's
like
easily found.
Like I just proved to you guys, 3 entities were sitting here.
No, that isn't even proving it though. Because you said we can all be living in a matrix.
Oh no, it is proof that.
No,
everybody on planet Earth could walk past here and agree there's 3 entities.
You believe that like computers exist, right? You believe, or not even believe, you know computers exist. You know that simulations exist.
Yeah,
you can obviously
virtual realities and all that. But the mere fact is that I'm touching something that's real. It's a mechanical electronic machine. I'm asking you to show me some evidence of gravity on any level.
I wish I was more.
You'd have to admit to yourself, just to be honest, and say
off the top of my head. Well, I know things drop to the earth.
Yeah, but you don't know that's due to gravity.
I know you don't want to admit that, Andrew.
You can't prove to me that's gravity.
You're struggling.
There's no evidence whatsoever for that.
Well, you say so.
Well, I said, give it to me then.
I'm just a man on the street. I'm a common man on the street.
Yeah, but you're the only person making the claim to show that it exists. And scientifically speaking,
you're the one making the claim that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm suggesting.
You're saying that we should always think against them.
No. He's questioning the fact that there is evidence. There's no evidence to prove there's gravity there. That's what he's trying to tell you. That you're a point back saying that you're.
I was trying to go somewhere with like technology and working back, and I can't get back to gravity.
But then you're coming back around your belief again. That's what he's trying to say. It's all coming around to what we're told. At the end of the day, you have to if somebody. It goes back to simple saying that if you say someone a story, they'll think, well, I have to believe that person because that's their side of the story. Or they can tell someone else's side of it.
There's a.
You can take sides of it.
There's a difference between. belief and science being able to create something from a theorem, though, right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
So,
but it's only that gravity, there's no proof for gravity. Is that just what
it's
you're
a
trying
belief.
to... It's a belief in gravity, only gravity.
It's a religious belief.
But electromagnetism exists.
Sorry?
Electromagnetism
Yeah, but
exists.
we're going off the tangent here. I'm just trying to get you to admit that you have no evidence that gravity exists. Which the whole heliocentric model stands on, because that illusionary force holds it all together. So I'm saying, well, show me some evidence. I want to believe it exists. Show me some evidence.
That's what he's saying. It's difficult, and there's no evidence out there. We're all running on theory.
Yeah.
We're all running on theory of people.
But the theory isn't just a theory, because if you think about it, we have satellites in space that orbit the Earth.
Well, how do you know that?
He's going to say, how do I know that? I have GPS, I can observe.
But then that's like
something
saying
like that. But
how do you know it's coming from a satellite?
How do I know? Where else is it coming from? And then
wait, you asked the question. Do you know that 95% or over 95% of communications is under the sea on cables?
It's the intertransit.
So how do you know it's not coming from that?
You could argue that it's pinging off cell towers. It gets you sort of because you also get it that way as well. You get your cell towers that pin about. They're probably some round about here. They ping off there and they give you an accurate.
Oh no! Like, you think about it, it's coverage of the entire Earth.
Yeah.
Not the entire Earth.
But it doesn't. It's the places you can't get signals.
Exactly.
Well, no. If you have the American GPS satellite system, can have full around the Earth coverage, right?
Yeah, but you don't get all around the Earth coverage.
Yeah, you only need so many satellites to get full Earth coverage.
Not three satellites.
But that's what we're told.
Yeah.
Now you know they have high altitude balloons that can stay up for months, and they have drones and have high altitude planes that you can get signals from. But I fly drones myself.
Right.
On some occasions, I've been in places where I'm told it works off satellites, so I have to wait till 4 red lights come on, green lights come on. Say, right, that's you linked up.
Wait, a drone?
Yeah.
How do you from radio control it?
No, we're told that it works off a satellite, right? So I have to wait.
It's radio controlled drone, right?
Yeah, but it connects to the satellites. So I have to wait. Let me finish. I have to wait till the 4 green lights come on before it connects to a satellite. Now, there's been some times where I've not had 4 green lights on, so I'm thinking, why is it not connecting? So I thought I'll use my phone and phone up the shop. No signal on my mobile phone. And now this is in isolated areas up north.
Oh wait. Mobile phones are cellular towers, right?
Wait, let me finish. But then in the Pentland Hills, I was in a valley, right in the city centre almost. Couldn't connect with the satellites. Wait a minute. I went on my phone again, no signal. So then I started researching satellites because I didn't believe it was connected to a satellite. It's land-based.
Land-based towers.
Wait, radio...
There's towers everywhere.
Hold on, but that doesn't mean that like a drone can fly in a valley and that's radio controlled.
Well, that wasn't being able to do that in the valley because I couldn't get connection.
Like, and then
I'm not too aware how drones work, so I don't really much of an argument.
But if they are land-based towers, you know, long waves can end round large objects. Like long wave and short wave radio, and long wave gets more distant because it can bend, or the waves can then deflect around mountains.
So how could
like you can get a land-based one to fly in a valley anyway.
How could Marconi radio not bounce around the Earth then? How come it could only go so far?
It's energy.
Is it not because
it's not enough energy, right? Like if you had enough energy, well then you're shooting off in one direction and it's not
do you think light can bend round a bend?
Is this a whole prism thing where we're bringing in question here?
What?
Like put light through a prism and get it to go in the corner? Is that just what the?
If you put light in glass, you can bend them around quite a lot.
Look at periscopes on a submarine.
Yeah.
How do they work if we've got a curvature of 8 inches per mile square?
It's not mirrors. Oh, you know about how it comes out of the water and looks out? Is that what?
Well, how can you see 6 miles away if there's a curvature of the Earth?
Because the Earth is massive.
Sorry?
The Earth is large enough. Like, you know how it appears flat?
No, it doesn't appear flat.
Does it all come to the human
eyesight? Why does it not appear flat?
It is flat when you look.
So it's a flat Earth?
I'm saying when you look at the horizon, it's flat.
It appears flat.
No, it doesn't appear flat.
It is flat, so is the Earth flat?
You have to trust your senses. What you're looking at is a flat horizon. That's why it's called horizon. It's not called curvature.
No. Like, okay,
sea level, not sea curvature.
So, like, if it doesn't appear flat, then it is flat.
I'm not saying it doesn't appear flat.
No, but I just said it appears flat, and then you say,
well, your eyes are telling you it was flat. Are your eyes not telling you the horizon is flat?
yeah, curve.
Straight line. Is your eyes not telling you that the horizon is flat?
You can see curvature at a distance.
Can you? Have you got evidence of that? Have you ever
I've got
that?
evidence of curvature actually. Let me say this one right. I watched the thing with Brian Cox
No,
once, right?
after this.
So not Brian Cox.
I don't like Brian Cox.
He was in it, no, but
Well,
put him
that's a
aside,
different
put him
story.
aside, right? They were in high-speed jets, right? And they were going at the speed over the Irish Sea Island. And they were going that fast. They were actually, as the sun was setting over the west coast.
yeah.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Over the west coast, they were going that fast. The actually sun was coming back up again.
What, sorry?
The sun was coming back up.
No,
They were going that fast. They were catching up with the way the sun was setting. They were catching up with the speed of the air. So they were actually managing to see the sun come back up again.
Yeah, it's kind of saying you observed that on a TV.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well,
It could be
But like, that's the thing about art.
You can see that in a Hollywood film as well.
Exactly, I know. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, but then the technology that Hollywood films based on comes from where?
Yeah. You know what green screen is, don't you?
Yeah. They can imitate like weather maps, for example. With that sort of stuff.
Do you see, like, I like to show you evidence of the International Space Station,
Right.
where you can see wires. People have been suspended on wires, flying around.
No, but then, you know, hold on, you don't even need to do that. Like, if you wanted to actually fake something like that, you just drop someone fast enough and you can simulate zero-G. Like, you don't even need wires to fake that.
No, but the point
But
is,
like, you can do it, like, you just drop, like, it's cheap. You get an airplane, you fly up and drop it. Why would you need wires?
but the point is NASA do that.
Well, like, NASA, with that budget, you just fake it a lot more easily, like, dropping them.
I'm sure they could do a lot more.
Anyway, like, why do you need wires when you just drop...
anti-geo folders on Earth? They could
Come
be
on,
folded.
like, if you're gonna fake it while like dropping it then. Like, you've got to admit, with a $16 million budget, you just drop...
16 million is far more than that.
Oh god, it's like trillions.
That's a day. No, I think it's 16 million a day.
No, NASA's budget's like, hold on.
It's 67 billion a year.
The defense budget is like trillions, right,
Yeah,
in America. But like NASA's budget is what, in billions still,
67 billion a year, I think. But does it not worry you
67
that if that's all fake, they're raking in all that money?
No, man, you know what I admit, like... Okay, sorry.
Do you think all that money could be used for like the homeless, the poverty,
Yeah, I know.
hunger?
It could be. Like, instead of setting up a sort of ideal fantasy, you could say, by trying to say, let me finish, like, saying that space and all that and all this money, they could be doing first world problems by trying to sort hunger, famine,
science and technology,
mass migration, all that sort of stuff. You could put your funding in there. But then, as you said, it all comes down to belief. They're believing that they could go far adventure into space and stuff like that. And that's where the money's going, to try to pursue the final frontier, as you could probably argue.
Like,
but
yeah.
So what if that was all lies, though? Would that not make you angry?
You know what? Right, say this, right. If it was to come out, I'd be pretty pissed, if we're going to be honest. If all that was totally like, well, by the way, Neil, all that stuff you got taught at school about the Earth being round, there's such a thing as space, and just the way life is. But then you got told, by the way, no, it's all a civilization.
Yeah,
you're not part of it.
Someone can come out and say that to you as well, right? But someone can come out and say the Earth is flat and keep on telling you that, right?
Yeah, but I'm not telling you that.
No, but like, you can do that though. You can come out and then convince people that the Earth is flat.
But
what benefit does it give it?
Exactly. Someone can come and question reality just now and say we've got evidence that the reality we live in isn't exist, isn't true. Then I could argue, well, that's his, I could believe what he says or not. Then at the end of the day, but we're never going to get to that point. We're never ever going to get to the argument of having actual people, everyone in the world finding out proper evidence to prove that the Earth isn't round.
This is went on wrong.
Do you see the different sizes in America in those two shops?
Hold on. This is a photo, remember. Photos lie.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to prove to you. That's NASA's website.
Yeah, but like, this is a photo you've given us saying, what? That the size of America. You can go and
research it yourself, though.
But like, you're saying photos can't be trusted. I can't trust this.
That's why I showed you it. They can't be trusted.
It's like if you got software and stuff like Photoshop, then anything can be edited in the world.
Absolutely.
Anything can be edited.
But the thing about the Earth being like the thing about the Earth being spherical is the fact that, like, you think about it as in, like, okay, I ask you a question. If the Earth isn't, like, I can't work at the moment, I can't work because I don't have research evidence that I can't prove to you. But then I say prove that the Earth is flat.
I'm not. I repeat, I'm not making claims that it's flat.
He's just
I'm questioning what I'm being told.
We're gonna start from the Earth is flat.
No, we're not, because I'm questioning what we've been told, that it's round on a spherical ball.
No. But, okay. If I believe you,
you certainly believe it.
What shape is it? No. I mean, if the Earth isn't spherical, what shape is it?
I don't know.
I don't know, because there's no evidence. As you're saying, there's no evidence. It could be a square. It could be a square as far as we are. It could be a triangle. There isn't. As I'm saying,
No. Well, if you then if the Earth is flat, then you ask the question, where does it end?
Right.
And then you ask, how has someone ever reached the end?
But then we're not saying
No, it doesn't matter. This isn't the thing, right? And then you say, if it's square, then there must be an edge, right?
No.
If it is a square, then it has a. If it's a square, it has a sharp reach.
Yes, right.
So then you ask the question.
But nobody's saying it's square.
No. But if you do assume it's square, like assume, right? And then how does no one ever reach the end and then had a sharp turn?
But I don't assume there's an edge.
No. Well, you know what? That's the thing. So then you assume, like, if no one's ever reached it, then.
But you accept that space is infinite without questioning that.
Well, in all honesty,
if I said man is infinite, why do you question that?
What?
Like, you don't question when you're told space is infinite.
Well,
when I say
I do question space is infinite.
Land may be infinite. Why do you question that so quickly?
Oh, right. Why I personally do it is because we're given a model of how the Earth, or not even a model, because this isn't even, it is a theory, but it's a theory in the sense of...
You're also given a model,
Yeah, of like the Big Bang and where everything starts from, and the amounts of elements in the world and all that. I personally do believe in... This is a belief.
So it's not a belief?
No, this one isn't belief. Like, the Big Bang is the most probable explanation.
To you?
Well,
no.
Not to me.
No, to yourself. Just what you believe with evidence.
You can't speak for anybody else. It's what you think. You're convinced by that.
This is your argument.
Do you know how much hydrogen is in the Earth?
Personally, no, I don't.
Do you know how much hydrogen is in space?
No.
Why isn't there like 1,000 suns in the sky? Like, and then people have thought about that. Why isn't there 1,000 suns in the sky? Because there isn't that much hydrogen, right? Like, there isn't that much hydrogen formed. And then this is the thing. You just work from science, and like you think about it, you think what you're doing right now. You critically think, why is this way? And then you build that up. And then these are the conclusions people have come to. Like anyone can do this if you have enough time and commitment. You can work from the sun is made of something, which will work out what it is. The earth is made of something, which will work out what it is. And then they work it out, and then they keep on going. Like, you can... I feel like I'm just going off on one now. I'm sorry.
I think maybe it's best we start
this is the thing, like, if you just keep on going, like gravity, like what...
Can I just say, whenever anybody mentions gravity in my videos, I play the song Queen.
Oh, so you've been playing you really pay for it, Siri, the amount of times you've been playing this video. Mention the word gravity.
Yeah, what do you call it?
It costs you a fortune on legal rights in this video.
So would you guys have any...
Do you believe the sun is spherical? Or do you just not went that far?
I'll tell you what I think the sun is. I can see it's a disc shape. And I don't believe it's 90
Oh, you know how it's like in the sky, it's far away. It can actually not be a disc.
I think it's a lot closer than we're told it is.
So about 35,000 kilometres.
Do you ever see hot spots of sun rays come down at an angle?
I have seen them break through clouds.
No, this is the difference between...
That would be impossible if it's so far away.
Right. Okay, right. I think we should venture off.
Right, we'll summarise.
No, not even.
Would you guys at all go and have a look at what I've been saying on the internet afterwards?
I think we'll probably have an argument about it, discussion.
Oh, no. Genuinely. Give me links to your websites, like after
I will do.
Yeah, and then this will be...
Can I ask you to watch one video, and I guarantee you will not walk away from that thinking you still live in a ball.
So you're not a flat earther?
Well, I don't like to claim I'm anything to labels.
Okay, no labels. Just objectively, and things you can observe.
Yeah, my website is my name with Globe Live.
But so you don't believe in things you cannot see. Like your eyes are the... What do you call it? Your eyes are the things that are true to you.
Yes.
Your eyes.
All my senses.
Your senses. Alright.
I trust my senses.
You should totally look up a philosopher about, what do you call it? That only you, that your senses are like lying to you.
Well, I don't believe that. That's what we're socially conditioned to believe. I trust my senses. I don't trust what somebody tells me about something.
Yeah. So observation is the key to understanding things.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I can ask you to watch one video, it's 200 proofs. Just put that into YouTube. It's actually 200 proofs why Earth is not a spinning ball, why it to be. Now he goes through each point systematically, scientifically. You cannot watch that and think you still live in a ball.
Right. Alright, you know, light. You don't need to do this on camera if you don't want.
Sorry?
You don't need to do this on camera if you don't want. We can finish there if you want.
Yeah, I can finish there.
Yeah.
Okay, it'd be great to talk to you guys.
No problem at all.
Got the headlines on the paper today. Oh, they're trying to fool. The policemen and the sheriffs think they're getting away, 'cause they